Don't talk about people dying now who happen to be black or being sold as slaves, because nobody would belittle that. That's what.
All right, so right now I have a debate between Alex Jones from InfoWars, and I'm just now being introduced to Alex Jones. I've seen him have a conversation with Piers Morgan, Joe Rogan. People have been telling me that I might want to learn a bit more about him, so I found a conversation that he had with T.I. T.I., I was a huge fan of T.I.'s when I used to listen to his music a lot. I watched you debate Candace Owens. That was a great show. It was a great joining of the minds and trying to get something done. You did not do a very good job debating, bro. You didn't, man. I understood what you was trying to get across, but it didn't hit properly. What it did was focus on one piece, the again part of Make America Great Again. And yeah, you focused on that piece like crazy, and you definitely stuck to that, but you wasn't trying to hear anything else that came from that. And that's when the conversation is no longer constructive. You told a fib, my brother. You told a fib, because you absolutely said what you claim right now that you're about to claim right now that you didn't say. So let's go ahead and check this out, and y'all feel free to comment if you like.
But you can correct me. You were there. You said it. That her saying other countries had slavery longer than the U.S., including African ones right now, and it's wrong. You're like, yeah, okay, well, you're taking away and belittling the problems people had here. I don't think she's doing that.
I never said that.
Well, maybe the moderator said
what
it.
I see it was.
Somebody said that.
What I see it was. That's some.
Now, what he did say, that's some BS. That was one of the things that he said later on. Later on, as a matter of fact, he did say that, and he got a huge round of applause for the people that were there, who were leaning more left, and most of the people there didn't care for Candace Owens too much, at all. But you know what? She don't duck any smoke. She's gonna go and have conversations, because she actually loved black people, man. I used to think that she didn't. I used to think that she was somebody who was against the black community, but it turns out she loves black people, man, and she does a lot to try to defend, take up for, and have representation for black people, along with the rest of the country as well, no matter what nationality or race you are. But I want you to see that T.I. claimed he didn't say that, but here on this video right here,
I want to be able to hear them. Answer the question, and you're just going to boo when I say slavery was all over the world, which is a fact. Why are you booing a fact?
Because you're making light of.
No, I'm not.
You're making light of the enslavement of people that look like us. You can't make light of that. That ain't nothing you breeze over.
I haven't even finished the sentence. How am I making light of anything?
You started with some bull.
So as you can very well see, he did say that was some bull sugar honey iced tea. But he said she started with some BS. But he did, in fact, when she was pointing out the fact that African Americans weren't the only ones who faced slavery before. She was doing that because he asked her specifically, when you talk about Make America Great Again, what time period are we talking about, the again part? Because in black people's minds, there is no point in U.S. history where things were ever good for African Americans, and that comes only because of slavery. We no longer care to do our due diligence and look into American history and figure out whether or not there was ever a time where black people were doing extremely well. And where there was a time where the marriage rate in two family households were far more than what they are today. And that's lacking the amount of freedom that we have today. So I guess when we got our freedom, we decided to use that freedom to walk away from our families, which is unfortunate. Or a lot of people who don't look at it that way will say that the reason why the black man is not in the household is because of circumstances, us being placed in certain neighborhoods and not having enough to feed our families. So we get out there and we commit crime for the sake of feeding our families. And while we're committing crime for the sake of feeding our families, we are being arrested and given more time than other people. And as welfare is being offered to the women who are left behind with no children, the only way that they can receive the welfare is if they deny their children's fathers, by taking their children's fathers off of the lease, by using the children's father's social security number so that they can cash in with public assistance. Now, I don't know how much of that is true, but one thing that we're doing is we're playing a blame game why we are in the situations we are in as the Black community. And what we're doing is taking away full responsibility and accountability that we have as Black men in our communities. The fact that we are not with our children's moms, we blame that on the government. We blame that on society. We blame that on the women themselves, but we never blame ourselves and the decisions that we made, because we didn't have enough time the same way as the women. They didn't have enough time, nor did they care to, nor did we care to vet the person that we were starting a family with. We didn't have enough time or give enough consideration to vet the person that we were going to start a family with, build a life beside. But instead, we went out haphazardly and had whatever type of irresponsible practices that we wanted to have, and just walked away from it. And we want to blame the system and everything else for our issues, when that's not in fact the truth. So what Alex Jones actually said in that part was true. We're going to watch a little bit more of this, but I just want y'all to see that the back and forth is not going to be leveled in any way, shape, or form. And I actually wanted T.I. to do much better in this conversation, because I just wanted to, it's when you see people grow, you get excited, you get happy. You know what I mean? You understand that the more people that grow mentally and the more people that mature understand the world better. And when you understand the world better, you become a better asset to race relations and many other healthy situations that we aren't in right now that could possibly turn this country around for the better. But some people get stuck in their lane of complaining and victimhood. And then we have, what came from this right here. So just check this out and let me know what you think.
And I will elaborate on why I feel that was some. It's because regardless of how you feel about Trump, this, that, and the other, you will never, and I repeat, you will never hear anyone get on any stage and say, well, the Holocaust, where people were enslaved and murdered, and this happened all around the world. You will never allow that to happen. No media outlet, no one would publish it.
Actually, the Polish government, the Polish president came out last year and this year, and then whenever Germany came 2 weeks ago and apologized to the Polish people,
Sir.
No, Hitler killed even. I think it's all bad.
A Jewish person would never get on any stage and say that.
What does a Jewish person have to do with Black people? I mean, you got to be accountable for who you are and who you represent. We always assume that things cannot be done by somebody else, but we do it to ourselves. Yes, we do a lot of stuff to ourselves. A Jewish person ain't out there killing their communities. Tell me the last Jewish person that shot another Jewish person. I'll wait. So we're not the same. We're not the same. We're not the same, man.
I'm trying to sure.
He's trying to understand the point of you bringing it up.
Yeah.
For a Black woman, as integral as a piece they are, and as important of a role that they hold, and as brilliant of a mind as Candace Owens is, for her to sit up there and minimize slavery by saying that everyone in the world has no Jewish.
So now I get your perspective.
No Jewish.
So now your perspective.
Nobody would do that.
No, but you're saying because she's Black, it's like.
Nah, it ain't because she Black. If a white person said it, we'd be just as livid.
Okay, well then let me say it this way.
No. Hold on, Alex. Now, hold on. I do want to say this. We hold each other accountable all the time for certain things. For certain things, we hold each other accountable. Boy, pick your pants up. Do this. Do that. Clean. Go do something with your hair. Do something with your clothes. You look dirty. You look rusty. You're not on your stuff and blah, blah, blah. We hold each other accountable for the little things. What Candace was trying to say is we have passed that, but if you want, since you don't know your history, there was times where we were good. We were okay. We were doing better financially and familially, if that's a word. It probably isn't. But as families, we were doing better. And she was trying to point those things out. But since you don't understand that history, she had to lay it on you and say, you know that we weren't the only people that were enslaved, right? Because you keep on trying to point that out so you can use it as a forever crutch. And she's trying to remove that forever crutch. That's what she's trying to do. A white person can't do that. A black person is the person that do that. We got to remove that forever crutch. We want to always use that daggone crutch so that we not move forward. And that's ridiculous. It's dumb as hell, actually. Because we always say, you know, we ain't got it the way that they got it. If a white brother would have did it, then, man, but when a black man do it, you know, he going to die right there on the spot. But when a brother do it, you know what I mean, when a white brother do it, come on, man. We keep on playing these little idiotic, childish games. So it took Candace Owens to come up on that panel and make that statement, because you're absolutely right. Nobody else that you know, T.I., nobody else that you know will say that in front of a room full of black people. Why? Because the room full of black people will get all butthurt and sensitive and not be able to understand what she's saying. No, they will be able to understand it, but they will just get all pissed off like, why are you trying to minimize slavery? No, ain't nobody trying to minimize slavery, because you're far more intelligent than you trying to give off as well, but you're just trying to make a point. And there's no context in that point, because you need to understand what she's trying to explain before you even jump into it. That's why a lot of times when I'm checking out the videos I check out, I don't say much until it's time for me, until I really understand a part, or I have a question about that part, because I don't like to speak on too many things that I don't know much about. But some people, when they don't know something about something, they just rather attack you than to understand where you're coming from. Because I would have asked, how does that pertain to what we're speaking on? And then they would have broke it down to you, and you would have had some understanding, and all of this part right here, we wouldn't even be having this bit of conversation right here.
Because this is really important.
We know that there was slavery. We know what Moses went in there, according to the Bible, and said, let my people go. We understand that. We do. However, what you can't do right now is sit on this stage and say to these people who starve for liberation.
Sure.
You can't tell them that even though you were enslaved, it's okay because it happened in other places in the world.
Yeah, well,
the Jewish community would never go for that.
Sure, I'm not saying that.
Even the gay community would never allow you to sit up on stage and say, okay, yeah, well, people will look down for their sexual orientation and their lifestyle. But that's happened plenty of places in the world.
You made your point.
Nobody will ever accept that.
Sure.
So why should we as black people accept it?
I'm not saying accept that. What I'm saying.
That's what you're speaking.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, you're not letting me talk, which is okay on this point.
That's the same thing Candace said.
Listen, but you're good at filibustering, and that's a good point. And then they can edit that out and say that was the full thing. But what I'm saying is,
I don't need no edit. They got the full.
No, not on here. I'm saying the way they edited the Candace things. You did good in that debate, but if you watch the full Candace, she did good as well. Once you saw 4 minutes,
I told her she did well. I told her I agreed with her.
Did you know I know Candace?
I quoted her.
Did you know I know Candace Owens' secrets? I can tell them to you. Now
I don't need her secrets.
It's good.
At the end of the day, guess what? She's a sister.
Yeah.
And I support her.
I understand. Let me just show you this, okay? When Obama and Hillary destroyed Libya, Muammar Gaddafi was stabilizing almost all of Africa, and it's caused probably 50 million deaths since it happened. Okay. So you got 50 million slaves here, and it's terrible and it's horrible. We're not belittling that. We're saying if it's currently going on, and Obama and Hillary blew up Libya, what did Louis Farrakhan say? He said, God damn it, Obama, you just killed Muammar Gaddafi, and you just destroyed much of Africa, and God You, Obama. Now, no, I'm telling you that nobody would sit there and say, okay, let's go 160 years ago and say, don't talk about people dying now who happen to be black or being sold as slaves, because nobody would belittle that. That's what happens right here. Humans are reportedly being sold as slaves for $400 each on the front line of the migrant crisis.
I'm familiar with that.
Africans are being sold at Libya's slave markets thanks to Hillary Clinton by Arabs.
I'm also
Arabs are perfect, even though they invented the goddamn black slave trade.
Nobody said
Arabs
are
look at this right here.
Libya's
slave trade is Obama's blame. Look at that. Oh, and look at this. How Obama brought black Muslim slavery back. That's what I'm talking about. Is when people only all day hear about that, and it's currently going on.
He brought Muslim slavery back. So by him bombing those countries, slavery started again. I need to look into that. Someone else on another video just now said something like that, and it was a black dude. It was a black dude, and I was fussing at him because although I do check out conservative topics and whatnot, I still get a little sensitive about the Obamas. One of these days, I might not be as sensitive, but because I didn't pay attention to their policies. But now that I am, things wasn't looking that great. But when it comes to these things right here, I'm like, man, don't you dare share that type of information, because that's not right. He never started no slavery, huh? What? He did? Oh, for real? Oh, okay. All right.
No, we should talk about it.
Now, let me ask you this. And you raise fair points.
I get allowed to, but I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. This is a free place. It's a safe place.
It's fun stuff.
All right. So that was interesting, man. I want to hear what y'all got to say about that in the comments below. And if you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I'm Van, and now we are all the LFR family, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video, hopefully inside the Patreon as well. Y'all have been amazing per usual, man. Love y'all.